Hi, boys and girls. For the last couple of days, we have been talking about main idea and supporting details. We also talked about text features and how those help us really know what the whole book is about and what they're trying to teach us. So for the past 2 days, we've been working on the same book. I worked on the camouflage book and you worked on the book about trees. So today we're going to do all of it together, right? First we did the main idea and the next day we did the supporting details. So today we're going to do the whole thing all together just because the more that we practice this, the better we will get. And this is something that's hard even like in 3rd grade. When Mrs. Kimmel taught 3rd grade last year, the kids had a hard time with this too. So if we practice it now, in 1st grade, you guys will be experts by the time you get to 3rd grade. So I'm going to start by reading you a new book, Popcorn. And remember why I do this. I model or show you how to do it with a book, and then you do it on your own with a different book, okay? So you kind of watch me go through the process of thinking and learning and figuring it out and filling out the paper, so then you kind of know the steps to take for your own book, right? So I'm going to scoot a little closer so you can see this, but let's start by just reading the book, Popcorn. Now, I kind of want to read with a purpose. So I'm going to think, I'm looking for the main idea, right? Which is not the topic. The topic I already know about this book is popcorn. This book is about popcorn. That's the topic. But the main idea is, what do they want me to learn about popcorn? What's the main thing they're trying to tell me about popcorn? So I'm going to think about that while I'm reading. Keep that in my brain so I watch for it. What are they trying to teach me about popcorn? Here we go. Pop, 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 pop. That is the sound of popcorn popping. If popcorn didn't go pop, you couldn't eat it. Each piece of popcorn is called a kernel. It comes from a corn plant. Before you cook popcorn, it is very hard and dry. Don't try to eat it. The kernels are too hard. A popcorn kernel is hard and dry on the outside, but on the inside, the kernel holds a little bit of water and some food called starch. Rice, potatoes, and many other foods that come from plants also have starch. Look at this nice diagram. This is what the inside of a kernel of corn looks like. See, it's filled with these little water bubbles. You see all those? And there's the outer shell, right? And then all the stuff on the inside is starch. Okay, all that brown that's in between. Now see, that's probably part of that kernel too. When you cook popcorn, the starch inside the kernel gets hot. The water inside the kernel gets hot too. Oh, another diagram, but this time they're showing the heat coming at the kernel and the water is kind of going crazy. Look at it. It's not just a dot anymore. It's kind of going zoom, 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 right? Bouncing around. The water inside the shell gets so hot that it turns into steam. Steam takes up more room than water, so the steam pushes on the hard shell of the kernel. It pushes and pushes and pushes until, now look, there's an example of what steam looks like. And this is what's happening inside the kernel. Okay, that water is going crazy, right? And it turned into steam. Do you see how it's kind of white now? And it's pushing, pushing, pushing. Uh-oh. Pop. Oh, look, this shows it actually happening. Look, it shows it here. Look at this, is crazy. It shows it here, and then it's like exploding. You can see some of the water coming out in here. And then this is what it looks like. Oh my goodness. The kernel explodes. The hard kernel pops open, and the starch pops out. It's white and soft. The inside part is now on the outside. Look at that. It like turned inside out. That's crazy. One by one, the kernels pop open. Now each piece is much bigger than it was before. The popcorn is white and fluffy, and it smells so good. The popcorn smells yummy. Now you can eat it. Okay, so this book was about popcorn. That was the topic. What did the whole entire book teach me about popcorn? Was it about different types of popcorn? No. it was telling me about how popcorn pops, right? So what could we write? The main idea is that popcorn pops because of its the special way it's made. What do you think? Popcorn pops for many reasons, maybe. That's kind of what they're trying to tell me, right? How popcorn pops, maybe that's it. We'll just say that. This book is trying to teach me how popcorn pops. Did I know what I was going to write on the very first try? No. I tried a few different things. I was like, it's about how popcorn pops, what it takes to make it pop, how it's made special to pop. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to write. That's normal, right? So you should probably do a little bit of thinking before you just throw an answer up there, right? Think about what your book is really trying to teach you. Now, how does it actually pop? What are the details in the book that explains how it pops, right? So maybe we could say the water on the inside gets hot. Let's say this. The water on the inside gets hot. This is almost following steps now, isn't it? The water on the inside gets hot, right? The water becomes steam and pushes out the starch, pops out when the kernel explodes. Okay, so I did all that kind of fast, didn't I? Because my brain just started going boom, 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 right? So I started kind of thinking, what did they really tell me about first? Well, they told me that it was hard, but then this was important. When they told me that it had water in it, right? So I thought that was important. But also, if I'm talking about how does it pop, well, it pops because the water inside gets hot. So I wanted to talk about the water, but I still wanted to talk about how that helps it pop. So it gets hot. And then I thought I'd go ahead and talk about how it turns into steam, right? And then it pushes out, right? See how it's pushing right here? And then the next step was that it exploded, right? But not only did I need to talk about it exploding, I needed to talk about that starch on the outside because it kind of turned inside out, remember? And that's what the white part is. So we needed to explain that also. So it becomes easier to do the details once you know what the book is trying to teach you, right? Yes, the topic is popcorn, but after I read the book, I could tell that the book was trying to teach me about how popcorn can pop. And then I found how it can pop, and I wrote those details down, okay? So I'm going to find a really good book for you on Epic. I haven't found it yet. It takes me a while to kind of pick one every time. And give it to you, and you'll fill this out on your new book, okay, to give you more practice.